I'm Jessica, 35.
Standing at the head of the boardroom table, I feel the weight of the moment settle on my shoulders, not as a burden, but as a mantle I was born to wear. The room is silent, filled with the stunned faces of board members, my parents, and my brother, Lucas. The FBI agents stand in the corner, their presence a silent reminder of the truth that has just been revealed. It all started when I received a panicked call from my mother, Sarah. "Jessica, it's your father, Robert. We think he's had a heart attack. You need to get here now." I was in Chicago for a business conference, but I dropped everything and rushed to my grandfather, Henry's house. I arrived in a frenzy, my hands shaking so badly I could barely press the doorbell. When my grandfather opened the door, he looked perfectly fine, sipping his coffee in his favorite sweater. Confusion and suspicion washed over me. I pulled out my phone and saw a post on Instagram from 2 hours ago. My parents and Lucas were on a beach in Bali, raising cocktails and a toast. They had lied to me, and not just about this. For years, I had worked tirelessly for our family's luxury resort chain, Ocean Breeze Resorts, which my grandfather had built from the ground up. I had put myself through college and an MBA program, working double shifts at a diner, while my parents funded every aspect of Lucas's education. Just 6 months ago, my parents had promised me the leadership of the new Tokyo branch, a position I had rightfully earned through my loyalty and business acumen. But 2 weeks before the launch, they gave it to Lucas, claiming he had the right personality for international business. Anger replaced the shock. I called my mother on speaker, and her non-chalant response confirmed my worst fears. She tried to brush it off as a misunderstanding, but I knew better. My grandfather, seeing the pain in my eyes, took me into his study. He revealed that he had been collecting evidence for months, suspecting that my parents were up to something. He opened a hidden wall safe and pulled out a thick manila folder. Inside were bank statements, trust withdrawal forms, and board meeting minutes. I was horrified to learn that my trust fund of $5 million had been systematically drained to support Lucas's lavish lifestyle, including a penthouse in New York and a membership at an exclusive yacht club. There was also evidence of a drunk driving accident that Lucas had been involved in last year. A pedestrian was injured, and my parents had used company funds to cover it up. To make matters worse, they were planning to transfer the entire ownership of Ocean Breeze Resorts to Lucas upon my grandfather's death. I knew I had to fight back. I called my cousin, Olivia, a brilliant attorney. She analyzed the evidence and confirmed that it was a case of fraud and misuse of fiduciary responsibility. She also discovered that my parents had been trying to have my grandfather declared mentally incompetent so they could take over the company, without any opposition. In the following days, I was systematically pushed out of the company. I received cancellations from meetings, my access to company resources was restricted, and my company email was locked. I felt like a caged animal, but I refused to give up. One evening, our family housekeeper, Mrs. Thompson, who had been with us for 25 years, slipped me a key to my father's private office. I used the opportunity during a family dinner to search for more evidence. When my father caught me, he was furious, but I stood my ground. I showed him the photos I had taken of the incriminating documents, and for the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. With Olivia's help, we gathered all the evidence and prepared for the quarterly board meeting. When I walked into the boardroom with the FBI agents in tow, the atmosphere changed instantly. I presented the evidence of the fraud and requested a vote to remove my parents and Lucas from their positions. The board members were shocked, and some of them started to question my parents' actions. My father tried to dismiss the evidence as fabricated, but the truth was too overwhelming. When the board chairman asked if I wanted my parents arrested or just removed from the company, I hesitated. I thought about the family name and the legacy my grandfather had built. Then, my grandfather entered the room, leaning on his cane. His presence commanded respect. He spoke about the integrity on which he had built Ocean Breeze Resorts and how he would not let it be destroyed by deceit. Olivia presented the legal documents transferring his controlling shares to me and Mrs. Thompson testified about the documents she had seen my father destroy. The vote was unanimous. My parents and Lucas were removed from all company positions. I announced an emergency company-wide meeting to reassure the employees and introduced a series of reforms, including profit, sharing, and a scholarship fund for employees' children. After the meeting, my parents tried to negotiate with me, but I was done with their lies. I gave them an ultimatum: face full charges or surrender all claims to the business and repay what they had taken. A year has passed since then. Ocean Breeze Resorts has seen a 25% increase in profits under my leadership. I've expanded the scholarship fund to help more employees' children, and the industry has recognized our efforts. I received the Hotelier of the Year award at the annual gala, a far cry from the girl who was once overlooked in her own family. Recently, I received a letter from Lucas. He apologized and said he had started a rehabilitation center for struggling youth, inspired by my fight for justice. As I read the letter, I wondered if it was possible to rebuild our family bonds. But for now, I'm focused on continuing to build a legacy of integrity at Ocean Breeze Resorts.